Hey guys, it's Wolf Maiden, and today I'm going to be doing some prep for my Saturday D&D game. So currently they are having an encounter with orcs, so I'm going to be painting some orc minis today, as well as making some parchment terrain so that I can sort of make my own buildings without it taking up too much space or costing too much money, and being able to kind of mix them up and match them so that I can make flooring patterns and things. So you guys will see some of that. And yeah, so let's get started. So these are my orc minis, and because I started recording sort of at night in bad lighting, here's what the models look like. I had gray ones, but these are the exact same models. Link in the description for the Etsy shop link for these guys. They're pretty cool. I made sure first to prime them, let them dry, and then I started painting right away. I also used Citadel paints on all these models. So this is my first mini painting video, and I definitely started off horribly because a lot of stuff, a lot of footage, was completely unusable because it was out of frame or it was blurry. So I got what I got, and I'm sorry about that. When I paint in the future, I need to find a better way to film, maybe at an angle so that you just see me painting better. But I started cutting filming because it was a lot of footage otherwise. But I do have the progress as I'm batch painting them. You will see the progress for every mini. I was trying to do it as I was doing like the skin, and then I'd show all of the minis as I was painting them, and that was a lot. So then I started doing it after I finished all of their, weapons or all of their armor or something. And I did that for a while, and then I did them individually, completing them individually before I filmed it. So it was an adventure, and you're here with me on it. I'll give you guys some background on the current campaign and why I need so many orc minis. Honestly, I need more than these. But basically, well, I don't think I really have to say it. Orcs are horrible. They usually are the enemy. Makes sense. It's in their nature. But yeah, they have constantly raided the little bit of civilization, and particularly the hero's hometown kind of thing. The original campaign started in a place called Evermeadow. So it got attacked by orcs session 2. And after that, orc attacks were common. So yeah, the party didn't like orcs. Now we only have one surviving member of the original party, but still orcs are plaguing the town, even years after. So they're on a sort of rescue mission for kidnapped people and to eliminate the orcs that keep attacking. There's also a necromancer running around, and that's a whole thing in itself. I'm hoping to wrap up the arc here because I am hopefully moving by the end of the year, but that means our in-person game will be over, and I'd prefer to play in person than online. So I'm trying to kind of up the production, I guess, of my game. And so that's where these guys come in. And without further ado, I am pleased to announce the Orc Boys. These guys and I are going to get well acquainted. I'm going to use them often on the battlefield until there are no more orcs, which will probably be never. So these guys will always be working for me, which is nice because I think they turned out wonderful, and you'll see that at the end. And it just took 3 days or 4 of work on and off, just hours of work. So you'll see daytime, nighttime. Yeah, I painted both day and night on differing days. So I both wanted these guys to be sort of uniform, but also have their own kind of thing going on. So what I ultimately decided to do is to make one piece of them have different colors. So I was going to add some color onto this that you wouldn't, expect to see on an orc necessarily. Just a pop of color somewhere, and it happened to be that they all had fabric skirts. So that's where I ended up putting it. Once I start showing the individual painted ones, you will see these skirts, but for now it's just armor, some silvers and stuff, nothing crazy. all just the base layers that I wanted to put down before I put on a wash. I am a beginner painter or a novice painter painting miniatures, so know that before you critique me. However, you can critique me. I am going to be needing to learn how to paint these properly. I am getting like 200 miniatures from a Kickstarter in August, so that'll be fun. You guys will definitely be the first to see what I got when it comes before I paint it, and then as I'm painting it, I'm sure I'll have some videos about the things that I'm painting. And now I'll introduce you to the Alpha Orc. This guy's not wearing a helmet. That's how you know he's cool. That's also how you know that he is in charge, because obviously he doesn't care if he gets sniped or gets headshotted. Also, you can tell by his cool little, I don't know what to call it. It's not a sword. It's not an axe. I guess it's a glaive? I don't know if it's a glaive. I don't know what to call it. The weapon is what I'm talking about. He was pretty cool to paint. I made him a little bit more unique than the rest, just color-wise, and it was cool to get to paint his hair as well. I was excited about that. He's definitely going to be my favorite to use at the table, and I might use him later on for a half-orc or something if it comes up in at another time. But orcs are common enough in the place that they're playing in, so these will definitely get a lot of use. So I have another mini here that I also want to paint in the future. Not anytime soon, because I don't think I need it soon, but it is a chimera. And if you don't know what a chimera is, it's a three-headed beast. It's got a dragon head, a lion head, and a ram head. I got a D&D paint kit for the chimera, and I saw the image of it, and I was like, I have to get this. I have to paint this. It's so pretty. So it comes with all the paints that you need to make it, so I'm excited to dig into that when I get a chance to. But this project, and projects like this, do take much, much longer. So I'm not able to make so many of them and still stick to my once-a-week schedule. So I have to space out a lot of these and plan out a lot better. So that's why this video is a bit late. So I began to paint more detail work with the Xandri dust. If anybody is on the fence about buying 3D printed miniatures, or haven't even considered getting 3D printed miniatures, I highly suggest looking them up, especially on Etsy, because they have a wide variety. They have all sorts of creatures, including those that you really can't find for more unique types of creatures, or things you don't see very often in a game, so they don't have miniatures for those in the standard D&D lineup of miniatures. I know I had to get a hippogriff from Etsy because they didn't have one that I could find anywhere else, and that is like my favorite miniature now. It's so pretty, and yeah, they're really good quality. The only real downside is priming. You have to prime them. The ones that come from other brands sometimes are already primed. I know maybe like the Warhammer ones aren't, but at least the D&D miniatures are. So if that is something you don't want to do or you don't know about, yeah, you have to prime them so that they can have the paint stick onto them. It had been a while since I painted minis, and I really forgot how long it takes. This is them after 3 hours. And now I'm going to bed. But I think they look pretty cool. So now that it's light out and it's daytime, this is what my sort of little setup looks like here for right now. I got some things that just normally sit on the desk, and then I have my little paint things. I put a lot of washes in here, and I've got my Citadel paints from a little beginner set, and I also have some army painter war paints here for different flesh tones, and then some varnish and things. And then all my brushes are in here, and these are the brushes that I'm using. So yeah. We'll get a closer look at the orcs, so you can see the different details on them a little bit. Definitely very much not done, but some of the things that I did. I put some brown on some weapons to kind of give it more of a not shiny and new thing, and some on the armor pieces. So, and then I did put some wash on some parts of things already. You can see sort of the brown on the shoulder piece of this one, for example. Pretty cool. This one had a vibrant colored skirt that I later do a black wash on, so most of these figures get really dirty and gritty looking, which is what I was going for, so there's that. And you see, after some time, the sun had went down, and this was what I had got done by that time. You could start to see that I was detailing metals and stuff like that. Some of them still don't have washes, so. So this is what they all look like, almost completely done. The only thing I didn't really do is, you can see down here, their bases. I haven't painted them really, I just kind of splattered some paint on them. But they all have like a color of skirt that's like different from the others. So I'm really satisfied with them. I think they look pretty good. So now I'm going to go ahead and put the details on, I think. So that's what I'm gonna do next. So these guys are all done, and I'm just gonna leave them to dry. I'll probably take a different video in the morning, but all of them besides their bases are done now. So now these are my orcs. Now that I did a good wash on them, there's some parts of them that I'm gonna have to redo, but I'm overall pretty happy with how they turned out. I did a lot of wash on the chest piece here, so it's darker than like the straps on the back, and the boots are a bit scuffy and dirty as well, which is neat. I really like this one, how this one turned out, and all the fur in the front. That looks really cool. Then there's this one. This one had the blue skirt going on. I really like how these orcs look and how they came out. Super excited to show my players. Now the bases I still have to work on, but I'm not too worried about that. I can fix that up. I'm more concerned about what they look like. This one was my favorite skirt he had because it was originally quite bright, like this back here. I might have to go give it another wash, but this one had like a cute little sunrise looking orange skirt, I guess, battle skirt on him. Came out really nice. So this one's my favorite little skirt thing here. All the details are coming out really nice with this wash as well. It's really neat. Then we got this guy. His metal looks very metally now with all the black wash I put on it, so that's cool. I definitely like the really ruggedy look that it gave them. Just a simple little black wash. Because they're dirty and gross. This one I forgot to paint in a couple of places, so I have to redo that. But he also came out kind of cool. He has a more vibrant red going on. Still really neat. But yeah, these are my orcs. And I'm gonna go ahead and slow everything down so that you could see all of them lined up like this. So here we go. I've got all of the orc boys here. This is a daylight, so we can see a lot better the details. So this is Aim. He's looking pretty good. Everything is nice and painted and stuff. He's got a basic brown skirt. This is Never. You know, name from the elves. He's got this really neat orange skirt that I really like on him. Very subtle though. It's pretty cool. And I really like how his like chest piece came out. It's got this nice black wash on it. Makes them all look really rugged. This is Gunna. He's also got the cool leather chest piece here, and he's got furs. So he has furs here on his boots, kind of see, and on his wrists. And this one's Give. He has this blue skirt. Also muddied in dark. A nice like pole arm. His chest piece is particularly cool as well. These guys came out really good. And finally we come to You Up. The Alpha Orc here. He has my favorite color as his skirt. He looks pretty cool. His hair came out a lot darker. It was supposed to be gray, but I guess it would get all dirty and gross if he's not washing it, so. Came out very well, I think. And yeah, these are the guys. So, all of their names are I am Never gonna give you up. They all came out looking super cool. And I'm excited to use them for my game. So next, what I'm doing for prep this session is make some parchment tiles, I guess. This is going to be able to represent anything with wood floors. So the things I used for this parchment paper terrain are scissors, a ruler, a pencil, and then for highlighting the lines I used the little micron pens. So I went ahead and made sure that I had 1 inch between each, so it was going to be a 4x4 piece of paper. I went ahead and measured it out, and then I did the lines with ruler, and then later on I put planks on it, and it was the planks took the longest, but it came out really well. And because I don't have storage for any sort of physical terrain or tiles and stuff, I literally have a shoebox that I need things to fit in. This parchment worked really well, so might want to use this for your game if you have the time. And I had my parchment paper and everything, so I went ahead and made planks. So you'll see what I sort of did to make planks. This was the most time consuming. I made each individual plank. I decided not to use a ruler because I wanted them to look a little bit more real, less precise, but it still looked amazing, honestly, for what it is. And I enjoyed the process. It's pretty cool. You can flip these different ways as you're making them, so make them up and down, then left and right, and alternate that. Or you could do what I did, which is just up and down, or obviously if you turn the paper, it'll be left and right. But what you do is ultimately up to you. You can do rows that alternate, so like, it's whatever you like. I just decided to do them all one way, and it worked out pretty well. One of my players actually told me that it looked like I had printed it. I didn't think so, but it was a nice compliment. and it's kind of a fun project to do. I will probably make more paper terrain in the future and do stone bricks or other things and try to do textures. So I plan to color this in the future, but I was running out of time. I spent the whole week practically painting the orcs and didn't have as much time to do all of the planks and everything for a bunch more tiles. So I only had 2 4x4s. It worked for the purpose that I created them for, which was for sort of like tree platforms high up in the trees that elves had made. So these worked perfectly, and they were great representations over my foldable map terrain that I have. So just a great addition, especially when I don't have the space for bigger terrain. And you can see the finished tiles here. It looks pretty good for, like I said, for what it is. And when I color them, or if I give them some texture with my pencil, like little knots in the wood and stuff, it'll come alive even more. But even the way that it is, honestly, looks really great versus just having little markers that don't have any distinction. And yeah, here's another look at my orcs and the tile that I made pre-outlining it. This was really fun and I really enjoyed the process. I hope you guys also enjoy. I know it's not LARP stuff and I do heavily lean into LARP stuff, but this is one of the many things that I'm also interested in. So thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope to see you in the next video.